Every day, millions wake up, follow the same routine, and live the same predictable lives. They believe they are free, but in reality, they are trapped, locked in a system designed to keep them weak, dependent, and obedient. The world has sold them an illusion, convincing them that if they work hard at a job they hate, save a little money, and retire at 65, they will finally get to enjoy life. But by then, the best years are gone. The energy, ambition, and fire of youth have been wasted. To escape this cycle, one must first see the trap for what it is. The system doesn't reward those who follow the rules. It rewards those who break them, who take risks, and who refuse to be controlled. Every powerful person in history had one thing in common: they refused to live like the masses. They saw beyond the distractions, the lies, and the limitations placed upon them. They took control of their destiny instead of waiting for permission. The first step is to break free from the mindset of comfort. The system thrives on your laziness, keeping you entertained, distracted, and unmotivated. It feeds you endless entertainment, social media nonsense, and mind-numbing news to keep you from focusing on your true potential. Success is not given to those who waste hours scrolling their phones or watching TV. It belongs to those who work, sacrifice, and discipline themselves relentlessly. Money is power, and without it, you are nothing but a pawn in someone else's game. The world doesn't care about your excuses, your struggles, or your circumstances. It only recognizes results. If you want to be free, you must take full control of your financial future. The traditional system will never make you rich. It was designed to make others rich while you stay stuck. Learn new skills, build multiple streams of income, and refuse to let a job dictate your life. But mindset alone is not enough. You must act. Stop waiting for the perfect time, because it will never come. Those who win in life move with urgency. They don't waste years thinking about starting. They start now. They fail, learn, and adjust. That's the only way to break free. And remember this: your environment determines your future. Surround yourself with strong, driven, and successful people. The weak will drag you down, feeding you doubt and fear. Cut them off. Find those who push you forward, who challenge you to be greater, and who refuse to accept mediocrity. The truth is, most people will never escape. They will stay in the same routine, following the same system, never questioning it. But you don't have to be one of them. The choice is yours. Either take control of your life now, or spend the rest of your days serving those who did. The matrix is real, and it's up to you to escape it. From the moment we are born, we are placed into a system that tells us how to think, what to believe, and how to live. Society has built an invisible prison, one where the bars are not made of steel, but of ideas, limitations, and distractions. The vast majority of people never even realize they are trapped because they have been conditioned to accept their situation as normal. They are taught to follow the rules, listen to authority, and never question the path laid out for them. Go to school, get good grades, find a stable job, work until retirement, and hope that one day they might finally have the chance to enjoy their lives. But by the time they reach that point, the best years of their life are already gone. This system thrives on weakness. It does not reward strength, ambition, or independence. Instead, it promotes mediocrity, complacency, and dependence. People are encouraged to accept a life of limitations, to believe that success is reserved for a select few, and that they are powerless to change their circumstances. Every institution, from education to government to mainstream media, reinforces this idea. They teach people to obey, to conform, and to never challenge the status quo. The truth is, the system does not want strong, independent thinkers. It wants obedient workers who will follow orders, pay their taxes, and never step out of line. Distraction is one of the most powerful tools used to keep people controlled. Every day, people waste hours scrolling through social media, watching meaningless entertainment, and consuming mind-numbing content that adds no value to their lives. This is not an accident. It is by design. The more time people spend distracted, the less time they have to think critically, to plan their escape, and to take control of their future. Society floods them with entertainment, celebrity gossip, political drama, and endless controversies to keep them emotionally invested in things that do not matter. Meanwhile, those who control the system continue to build their wealth, expand their power, and shape the world according to their own interests. To break free, one must first reject the narrative that has been fed to them since childhood. This means questioning everything society teaches about success, happiness, even reality itself. The idea that financial success comes from working a regular job for 40 years is a lie. The idea that money is evil and that wanting more for yourself is selfish is a lie. The idea that comfort and stability are more important than risk and growth is a lie. These lies are designed to keep people complacent, to make them feel guilty for wanting more, and to ensure that they never rise above their circumstances. Real success comes from doing the exact opposite of what society expects. It comes from rejecting the idea that life is meant to be safe and predictable. It comes from embracing discomfort, pushing beyond limitations, and refusing to accept the average existence that most people settle for. Those who achieve true success are the ones who take risks, who challenge authority, and who refuse to be controlled by fear. They do not waste their time on meaningless distractions. They focus on building skills, creating wealth, and mastering their own minds. One of the biggest obstacles in rejecting society's narrative is dealing with the people around you. Friends, family, coworkers, they have all been programmed by the same system, and they will try to keep you in it. Not because they are bad people, but because they do not know any better. When you decide to break free, to pursue success, and to reject the rules they follow, you will face resistance. People will call you arrogant, unrealistic, or even selfish. They will try to pull you back down, not because they want to see you fail, but because your success threatens their own belief system. If you prove that it is possible to escape, then they must face the reality that they have chosen not to. And most people cannot handle that truth. That is why it is so important to surround yourself with people who think differently, people who reject mediocrity, who refuse to be controlled, and who are constantly striving for more. If the people around you are not pushing you forward, they are holding you back. Cut off those who drain your energy, who fill your mind with doubt, and who try to convince you that your goals are impossible. Find those who inspire you, who challenge you, and who will hold you accountable for your ambitions. Escaping the system is not easy. It requires disciplined sacrifice and an unshakable belief in yourself. It means making choices that others will not understand. It means working when others are partying, learning when others are wasting time, and staying focused when others are distracted. But the reward is worth it. While most people spend their lives trapped in a cycle of work, debt, and regret, those who reject the system will experience true freedom. They will live life on their own terms, with financial independence, unlimited opportunities, and the ability to shape their own destiny. The truth is, the world is designed to keep people weak, distracted, and obedient. But those who recognize this, who see beyond the illusion, and who have the courage to break free, will rise above the rest. Success belongs to those who refuse to accept limitations, who take control of their own future, and who reject the narrative that society has forced upon them. The system only has power over those who allow it, and the moment you decide to take control, you are already on the path to freedom. The difference between those who succeed and those who remain stuck in mediocrity is not luck, talent, or background. It is mindset. The way winners think separates them from the rest of the world. They do not see obstacles as reasons to quit. They see them as challenges to overcome. They do not blame their circumstances. They take full responsibility for their actions. They do not wait for opportunities to be handed to them. They create their own. The truth is, success is not about intelligence, connections, or resources. It is about the way you think, the way you approach life, and the way you refuse to accept anything less than what you want. Most people are conditioned to avoid risk. From a young age, they are taught to play it safe, to follow the rules, and to avoid failure at all costs. But winners understand that risk is necessary for success. They know that without stepping outside of their comfort zone, they will never grow. They do not fear failure because they see it as part of the process. Every mistake, every setback, and every loss is a lesson that makes them stronger. The average person will try something once, fail, and give up. A winner will fail 100 times but will keep going until they get it right. The difference is not in skill or intelligence, it is in persistence. Persistence is what separates those who achieve their dreams from those who settle for less. Most people give up at the first sign of difficulty. They try a business, and when it does not work immediately, they quit. They start a new skill, and when it becomes challenging, they walk away. Winners do the opposite. They keep pushing forward, no matter how many times they fall. They understand that mastery takes time, that success is a long game, and that those who keep moving forward will eventually win. The world is filled with people who had great ideas, big dreams, and strong ambitions but gave up too soon. The only ones who make it are those who refuse to quit. Another defining trait of winners is their hunger for knowledge. While the average person wastes time on distractions, entertainment, and meaningless conversations, winners are constantly learning. They read books, study successful people, and seek out information that will help them grow. They do not assume they know everything. They understand that there is always more to learn. They invest in their education, whether through mentors, courses, or real-life experiences. They know that the more they learn, the more they earn. The world rewards those who have the knowledge and skills to solve problems, create value, and think differently. The way winners think is also different when it comes to obstacles. Most people see problems as excuses to stop. They complain, they blame others, and they look for reasons why something cannot be done. Winners see problems as opportunities. Every challenge they face is a chance to become stronger, smarter, and more resilient. Instead of saying, "I can't do this," they ask, "How can I make this work?" Instead of looking for excuses, they look for solutions. This shift in mindset is what allows them to turn failures into successes, setbacks into comebacks, and obstacles into stepping stones. One of the most powerful aspects of a winner's mindset is their ability to control their emotions. The average person allows their emotions to dictate their actions. If they feel tired, they stop working. If they feel discouraged, they give up. If they do not see immediate results, they assume it is impossible. Winners, on the other hand, do not let emotions control them. They push through even when they do not feel like it. They remain focused even when things are not going their way. They understand that emotions are temporary, but discipline lasts forever. This is what allows them to stay consistent, to keep taking action, and to achieve results while others quit. Another key difference between winners and the rest of the world is their ability to take responsibility. The average person blames their circumstances, their upbringing, the economy, or other people for their lack of success. Winners take full responsibility for their lives. They know that if they are not where they want to be, it is because of their own choices. This is not a negative mindset, it is empowering. Because when you take responsibility, you take control. You realize that your success is entirely in your hands, and you stop making excuses. Winners also surround themselves with the right people. They understand that environment is everything. If you are around lazy, negative, and unmotivated people, you will become like them. If you are around driven, successful, and ambitious people, you will rise to their level. Winners seek out mentors, network with like-minded individuals, and eliminate toxic influences from their lives. They know that the people they surround themselves with will either push them toward success or pull them back into mediocrity. The final aspect of a winner's mindset is urgency. Most people live as if they have all the time in the world. They put off their goals, delay taking action, and waste years waiting for the right time. Winners understand that time is the most valuable resource. They act now. They do not wait for perfect conditions because they know perfection does not exist. They take massive action today, knowing that every day wasted is a day they will never get back. This sense of urgency is what allows them to outwork, outlearn, and outperform everyone else. The reality is success is not reserved for a special group of people. It is not about luck, privilege, or intelligence. It is about mindset. Those who think like winners act like winners and refuse to accept anything less than success will eventually achieve it. The question is, will you choose to think differently, to embrace risk, to persist through failure, and to hunger for knowledge? Or will you stay like the majority, waiting, doubting, and settling? The choice is yours. The people you spend time with shape who you become. Whether you realize it or not, your mindset, habits, and level of success are all influenced by the individuals in your life. If you are surrounded by weak, negative, and unmotivated people, you will adopt their mindset, their excuses, and their limitations. On the other hand, if you surround yourself with ambitious, disciplined, and successful individuals, you will be pushed to grow, to think bigger, and to take action. Success is not just about what you do, it is also about who you do it with. Many people stay stuck in mediocrity because they refuse to change their environment. They hold on to childhood friends, toxic relationships, and social circles that do nothing but drain their energy. They listen to the opinions of people who have never achieved anything significant, allowing fear and doubt to creep into their minds. They remain loyal to groups that offer them comfort but no growth. But growth and comfort do not go hand in hand. If you want to elevate your life, you must be willing to let go of those who hold you back. Weak people make excuses, complain about their circumstances, and blame others for their failures. They look for reasons why something cannot be done. Instead of figuring out how to make it happen, they laugh at ambition, mock discipline, and discourage any attempt to rise above the norm. These people are dangerous because their mindset is contagious. Spend enough time around them, and you will start thinking the same way. You will lower your standards, abandon your goals, and accept an average existence because that is what everyone around you is doing. Strong people, on the other hand, demand more from themselves and from those around them. They do not waste time on negativity, gossip, or self-pity. They are focused on results, action, and progress. When you tell them your goals, they push you to go further. When you face challenges, they help you find solutions. When you start making excuses, they call you out and remind you of your potential. These are the people who will make you stronger, not weaker. If you look at the most successful individuals in any field, you will notice one thing: they are surrounded by other successful individuals. They seek out mentors, they build powerful networks, and they align themselves with those who share their vision. They understand that success is not a solo journey. It is built through the energy, wisdom, and influence of those around them. They do not waste time with those who drag them down. They value their time, their mindset, and their progress too much to entertain mediocrity. One of the most important decisions you can make in life is to carefully choose who you allow into your inner circle. This means cutting off toxic influences, distancing yourself from those who do not support your growth, and intentionally seeking out individuals who inspire you. It does not matter if they are family, childhood friends, or people you have known for years. If they are holding you back, they cannot come with you on the journey to success. This is not about being cruel or arrogant. It is about protecting your future. Some people will try to guilt you into staying the same. They will say you have changed, that you think you are better than them, or that you are abandoning them. But the truth is, you are not leaving them behind. They are choosing not to grow with you. You cannot force anyone to change. You can only lead by example. And if they refuse to elevate their mindset, that is their choice. Your responsibility is to yourself and your future. Surrounding yourself with strength also means actively seeking mentors and role models who have already achieved what you aspire to. Learning from those who have walked the path before you will accelerate your growth and save you years of trial and error. A strong mentor will challenge your thinking, hold you accountable, and provide valuable insights that you would never get from people who have not reached that level of success. It is also crucial to place yourself in environments that force you to level up. Attend events where successful individuals gather. Join communities where growth and excellence are the standard. Engage in conversations that expand your perspective and challenge your beliefs. The more time you spend around high achievers, the more their mindset and habits will rub off on you. This applies to every aspect of life: business, fitness, relationships, and personal development. If you want to build wealth, spend time with those who understand money, investments, and financial growth. If you want to get in the best shape of your life, surround yourself with disciplined individuals who prioritize health and fitness. If you want to develop mental toughness, seek out those who have overcome adversity and built resilience. You cannot expect to grow if you are constantly surrounded by people who do not embody the qualities you aspire to develop. The truth is, you become like the people you are around most. If you are constantly in an environment where laziness, negativity, and excuses are normal, you will adopt those traits without even realizing it. But if you are surrounded by those who are driven, disciplined, and focused on success, you will naturally rise to that level. You do not have to cut off every single person who does not match your ambition, but you do need to control the amount of influence they have over your life. Your time, energy, and mental space are valuable. Do not waste them on those who do not add to your growth. Be intentional about who you spend time with, what conversations you engage in, and what kind of energy you allow into your life. If you surround yourself with strength, you will become stronger. If you surround yourself with weakness, you will become weaker. The choice is yours. Comfort is the greatest enemy of progress. Most people never achieve success, not because they lack intelligence, talent, or opportunity, but because they refuse to step outside their comfort zones. They cling to what is familiar even when it is holding them back. They fear discomfort, uncertainty, and struggle, so they stay where it is safe, predictable, and easy. But the truth is, nothing great has ever been achieved in comfort. Growth begins at the edge of discomfort, and those who want more out of life must be willing to embrace it. The world has conditioned people to seek comfort at all costs. From childhood, they are taught to avoid pain, to take the easy path, and to seek security over risk. Society promotes the idea that life should be smooth and stress-free, that struggle is bad, and that hard work should be minimized. Technology makes things even worse by providing instant gratification, entertainment, fast food, and distractions that require no effort. People have become addicted to comfort, and as a result, they have become weak, lazy, and stagnant. Those who achieve success understand that discomfort is not something to be feared. It is something to be pursued. They know that every breakthrough, every moment of growth, and every major achievement comes from pushing beyond limits. They do not avoid difficult situations, they embrace them. They train their minds to see discomfort as a sign that they are moving in the right direction. While most people run from struggle, winners run toward it because they know that is where transformation happens. Physical fitness is a perfect example of this principle. A weak person avoids the gym because it is uncomfortable. The soreness, the exhaustion, and the challenge are too much for them. They prefer to stay on the couch, indulging in food and entertainment because it is easier. But a strong person understands that progress only comes through pain. They willingly put themselves through hard workouts, knowing that every drop of sweat, every burning muscle, and every moment of exhaustion is making them stronger. They do not complain about the discomfort. They seek it out because they know that is how they grow. The same applies to financial success. The average person avoids risk because they are afraid of failure. They stay in a job they hate, earning just enough to survive because the idea of trying something new is terrifying. They tell themselves that starting a business is too risky, that investing is too complicated, and that building wealth is only for the lucky few. They choose the safe, predictable path, even though it keeps them trapped in mediocrity. Meanwhile, successful people understand that financial freedom requires stepping into uncertainty. They take risks, make sacrifices, and endure temporary hardships because they know that is the only way to escape the cycle of paycheck to paycheck living. Relationships also follow this pattern. Many people stay in toxic, unfulfilling relationships because they are comfortable. They would rather tolerate unhappiness than face the discomfort of change. They fear being alone, starting over, or confronting difficult truths, so they settle for less than they deserve. But those who value growth understand that walking away from what no longer serves them is necessary. They know that the temporary discomfort of loneliness or change is far better than a lifetime of regret and stagnation. Every major success story is built on a foundation of discomfort. Athletes push their bodies to the limit. Entrepreneurs take massive risks. Artists and performers face rejection and criticism. Soldiers endure grueling training. Anyone who has ever achieved greatness has done so by embracing what most people avoid. They have learned to be comfortable being uncomfortable. They have trained their minds to thrive in adversity. Discomfort is the price of progress, but most people are unwilling to pay it. They look at successful individuals and assume they got lucky, not realizing the years of struggle, sacrifice, and pain that went into their journey. They see the results but ignore the process. The truth is, success is available to anyone, but very few are willing to do what it takes. The difference between those who achieve their dreams and those who do not is simple. One group embraces discomfort while the other runs from it. The first step to breaking free from this trap is changing the way discomfort is viewed. Instead of seeing it as something negative, it must be seen as a sign of growth. Every challenge, every difficult moment, and every painful experience is an opportunity to become stronger. Instead of avoiding struggle, it should be welcomed. The moment discomfort is embraced instead of feared, life begins to change. Most people will never take this step. They will continue choosing comfort over growth, pleasure over discipline, and security over success. They will stay exactly where they are year after year, wondering why their life never improves. But for those who are willing to step outside of their comfort zones, the possibilities are endless. Strength, success, and freedom are reserved for those who are brave enough to endure discomfort. There is a choice to be made. Continue living in comfort, avoiding hardship, and settling for an average life, or embrace discomfort. Push beyond limitations and create something extraordinary. The path of growth is not easy, but it is the only one worth taking. The mind is the most powerful tool a person has, yet most people do not take the time to understand or control it. Every action, every decision, and every result in life begins with a thought. The way you think determines how you feel, how you behave, and ultimately what you achieve. If your mind is weak, your life will reflect that weakness. If your mind is strong, there is nothing you cannot accomplish. Most people go through life allowing their thoughts to control them instead of taking control of their thoughts. They react to circumstances, emotions, and external influences without realizing they have the power to dictate their own reality. Mastering the mind is not just about thinking positively, it is about training your brain to work for you instead of against you. People who fail in life often do so because they allow negative thoughts to dominate their minds. They focus on what they lack, what they fear, and what could go wrong. They convince themselves that they are not good enough, smart enough, or capable enough to succeed. They listen to the doubts and insecurities that creep into their minds, and instead of challenging them, they accept them as truth. But these thoughts are nothing more than mental illusions, self-imposed limitations that hold them back. Those who master their minds understand that thoughts are just thoughts. They are not reality unless they are acted upon. Instead of letting their minds control them, they control their minds. The first step to mastering the mind is developing awareness. Most people operate on autopilot, not realizing how their thoughts are shaping their actions. They allow negative self-talk to run unchecked, and over time, these thoughts become beliefs. A person who constantly tells themselves they are not good at something will eventually start believing it, and their actions will reflect that belief. But by becoming aware of these thoughts, you can start to change them. You can catch yourself in the moment and reframe your thinking. Instead of saying, I can't do this, you can train your mind to say, I will find a way to do this. Instead of saying, I am not good enough, you can say, I am getting better every day. This shift in mindset changes everything because thoughts dictate actions and actions dictate results. Another crucial aspect of mastering the mind is guarding it against negative influences. The world is filled with distractions, fear-based narratives, and people who try to impose their limitations on others. If you consume negative content, engage in negative conversations, or surround yourself with negative people, your mind will absorb that energy. The human brain is like a sponge. It takes in whatever it is exposed to. That is why it is critical to be intentional about what you allow into your mind. Read books that inspire growth. Listen to people who challenge you to be better. Engage in conversations that expand your thinking. Protect your mind as if it were the most valuable asset you own, because it is. Mental discipline is another key component of mastering the mind. Most people give in to distractions, impulses, and fleeting emotions without realizing they have the power to control their focus. They allow procrastination, laziness, and short-term gratification to dictate their decisions. But those who have mastered their minds do not act based on how they feel in the moment. They act based on their long-term vision. They understand that motivation is unreliable and that discipline is the real key to success. When they do not feel like working, they work anyway. When they do not feel like pushing through, they push harder. They do not allow their emotions to dictate their actions. They use their actions to change their emotions. One of the greatest benefits of mastering the mind is the ability to stay calm under pressure. Life is unpredictable and challenges are inevitable. Most people panic when things do not go their way. They become overwhelmed by fear, anxiety, and stress because they have not trained their minds to handle adversity. But those who have mastered their minds remain composed in difficult situations. They understand that fear is just an emotion, not a reality. They analyze problems logically, find solutions, and take action instead of wasting energy on worry. This level of mental control allows them to navigate life with confidence, no matter what obstacles arise. Another crucial part of mental mastery is the ability to visualize success. The most successful people in the world do not just work hard, they see their success before it happens. They create a clear mental picture of what they want to achieve, and they hold on to that vision with absolute certainty. This is not wishful thinking, it is a powerful psychological tool. When the mind is focused on a clear goal, it starts to work towards it consciously and subconsciously. It filters out distractions, recognizes opportunities, and aligns actions with the desired outcome. This is why athletes, entrepreneurs, and top performers in every field use visualization as a strategy. It trains the mind to expect success, making it more likely to happen. Mastering the mind is a lifelong process, but it is the most valuable skill a person can develop. A strong mind creates a strong life. When you take control of your thoughts, you take control of your actions. When you take control of your actions, you take control of your future. Most people live as prisoners of their own minds, never realizing they hold the key to their own freedom. But those who understand the power of the mind know that there are no limits except the ones they choose to accept. Most people rely on motivation to take action, but motivation is fleeting. It comes and goes based on emotions, circumstances, and moods. One day, a person might feel excited and ready to take on the world. The next day, that motivation fades, and they fall back in old habits. This is why so many people start projects, set goals, and make promises to themselves but never follow through. They wait for motivation to strike, and when it does not, they do nothing. This is the cycle that keeps people stuck, never making real progress. The ones who achieve success do not rely on motivation. They rely on discipline. Discipline is the ability to do what needs to be done, even when you do not feel like doing it. It is waking up early, going to the gym, putting in the work, and staying consistent regardless of how tired, unmotivated, or uninspired you feel. Discipline does not care about emotions. It does not care if you are in the mood to work or if the conditions are perfect. It only cares about results. The difference between those who succeed and those who fail is not talent, luck, or intelligence. It is discipline. Those who are disciplined show up every single day and put in the effort, no matter what. One of the biggest lies people tell themselves is that they need to feel motivated before taking action. They wait for inspiration to hit before they start a workout, a business, or any meaningful task. But this is completely backward. Action creates motivation, not the other way around. When you start moving, your mind and body follow. The hardest part of anything is just getting started. But once you push through that initial resistance, momentum builds. A person who does not feel like going to the gym, but forces themselves to go anyway, will often find that after a few minutes, they are fully engaged in the workout. The same applies to any task. Starting is the key, and discipline ensures that you start regardless of how you feel. Discipline also eliminates the need for constant decision-making. When you rely on motivation, you spend time debating whether or not to take action. Should I work out today? Should I work on my goals? Should I stick to my plan? This internal debate drains energy and often leads to excuses. But when discipline is in place, there is no debate. The decision has already been made in advance. You do what you committed to doing, no matter what. It becomes a habit, a way of life, rather than a choice that needs to be reconsidered every day. Most people admire successful individuals for their achievements, but they do not see the discipline behind those achievements. They see the athlete winning championships, but not the years of daily training. They see the entrepreneur making millions, but not the countless hours of sacrifice and hard work. They see the artist performing on stage, but not the endless practice behind the scenes. Success is built on consistency, and consistency is built on discipline. The people who achieve great things do not wait for motivation. They operate on a different level of commitment. Discipline also builds mental toughness. When you train yourself to take action regardless of how you feel, you develop a strong mind. You become the type of person who does not quit when things get hard, who does not make excuses, and who does not give in to weakness. This toughness carries over into every area of life. A disciplined person can push through discomfort, handle challenges, and stay focused on their goals, while an undisciplined person crumbles under pressure. Another major benefit of discipline is that it creates freedom. At first, this might sound contradictory. How can strict discipline lead to freedom? But the truth is, discipline gives you control over your life. When you are disciplined with your time, you achieve more and have the freedom to do what you want. When you are disciplined with your money, you gain financial security and freedom from stress. When you are disciplined with your health, you have the energy and strength to enjoy life fully. A person who lacks discipline lives in a constant state of chaos, always reacting, always struggling, always stuck. But a disciplined person has power over their own destiny. The mistake many people make is thinking discipline is something you either have or do not have. But discipline is not a personality trait. It is a skill that can be developed. It starts with small commitments. If you tell yourself you will wake up at a certain time, do it. If you set a goal to exercise, follow through. If you decide to work on a project, do not make excuses. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you build discipline. Over time, it becomes easier. The more disciplined you become, the less you rely on motivation, and the more unstoppable you become. Discipline is the foundation of success, and the good news is, anyone can develop it. It does not require talent, luck, or special circumstances. It only requires a decision. The decision to stop waiting for motivation and start taking control. Those who master discipline master life. Those who depend on motivation remain stuck, inconsistent, and frustrated. The choice is simple: rely on fleeting emotions or build unshakable discipline. The path to greatness is not easy, but is clear.